there. Number 3, Derek Drinkwater in the Cadillac, the car with its own postcode. Busy squabbling with Mark Cross in Bluebell. The little blue Morris Minor comes up on the outside line. That's brave, Crossy. And he tries to go all the way around the outside. Is he going to do it? 1 litre of Morris Minor round the outside of the Yank tank. And he's just got his nose in front, but he's on the outside line for the chicane. He can brake later. They're never going to fit, surely. No. And the Morris Minor, Bluebell, the 1 litre car, 4 doors. It's a heavier Morris Minor than some. Has to slot back in behind. That was a really brave effort.
Well, when you've suddenly got a Leviathan trying to brake alongside you, it's not going to get the braking done very well at all. So you actually have to be wise and back out of it, because otherwise you've been swatted like a fly by that giant Cadillac.
But then you see all the horses under the bonnet. The Cadillac pulls away, gains a place, going down towards Madgwick, but then struggles through the slow parts of the lap. Mark Cross then now.
Charging along behind them is Tom Christensen in that big Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. He's virtually with them now, and Stippler with the Alfa, which is a little heavier than the Cortinas, but that's the only thing not going for it in this tussle. 2 of the 3 top 3 with the lights ablaze, and here comes Tom Christensen. He's timed his run beautifully, 12 laps down.
Well, it's just interesting, Marcus, looking at their respective speeds through the chicane. The Alfa Romeo, the 2 Lotus Cortinas with Shedden attacking, trying to take the outside line at the corner before St Mary's, doesn't make it work.
That was very brave.
Very brave indeed. You talk about diminishing options and diminishing returns, perhaps, but Stippler knew that. He kept the car where he needed to go. But when you get the acceleration out of a tight corner, the Thunderbolt not so quick into any of these tighter corners, but he's very much quicker out of it. Now they're just going
Mass
around
has gone,
the back
hasn't
marker.
he? Mass has dropped, fallen away in the Galaxies in the pits, I think.
Oh yes, Andy Priaulx comes round alone, and they've been almost tied together for a huge number of laps.
Top 4 together. Up into 3rd comes Tom Christensen. He's on the podium, in inverted commas, and he's monstering the 2 4-cylinder cars down into Woodcote Corner. This is absolutely sensational stuff. Remember, it's a 2-part aggregate race, because the other drivers are in tomorrow, in many cases the owners, and we've got Stippler will be handing over to Alex Fioriani, Shedden to Matt Neal, Tom Christensen to Henry Mann, and Andy Jordan to his dad, and it's up in a second.
Up to second, but you see, Andrew Jordan got to see the Thunderbolt approaching, but Gordon Shedden, the meat in that 3-way battle at the front, I don't think really knew what was happening, and suddenly he's got a new car on his tail, not the red and silver Lotus Cortina, it's the Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt, and he's making such short work of it on the run to Ford Water. Boom! Into the lead goes Christensen.
Absolutely sensational. And we've got up the inside sheds decided now's the time to pounce. He found a line there that was innovative to say the least, and he got past Frank Stippler, and it's a Ford 1-2 again.
Now this is the moment for Andrew Jordan to try and pass Paul.
That was on the grass, wasn't it, for Christensen? Up behind the Isuzu Bellet. That's going to compress the group going into Lavant Corner.
Big drift there from Shedden in second place, trying to do anything, and we have Stippler trying to fight back in the Alfa Romeo. Andrew Jordan trying to hang on, the Isuzu Bellet out of the way. Well done to David Brabham there, kept it off the racing line, and that allows this lead quartet. Isn't that fantastic? 3.5 minutes remaining. We're talking about a lead quartet covered by a second and a half, but it is going to go out.
Down the outside comes Stippler. He's locked a wheel, he's got it very sideways, he's out over the grass again. That's Costin Deer. He's run wide onto the tarmac. He drops back into fourth place behind Andy Jordan. So it's a Ford 1-2-3. It's Tom Christensen who leads the way. In second place it's Gordon Shedden, and in third place now it is Andy Jordan.
The outside line to go around someone else. That can compromise the whole lap. And the drivers of the larger cars, well, the one we see at the moment is second fastest. That's Andrew Jordan, taken over from Adrian Walmart. But I think the less wieldy cars are going to start to find their form. When it was fully wet, they just couldn't get the power down. So look for the Galaxies coming on. But certainly Andrew Jordan revelling in this crazy one and only Studebaker Lark Daytona here at Goodwood. It's great to have one car that stands out.
It is, isn't it? And it certainly stands out because it's sideways as well. Andrew, the 2013 British touring car champion. It's run by the family firm Jordan Racing Team. It's completely sideways on the kink on Lavant Straight. And although we don't see much of Andrew in modern racing these days, he is ultra successful. And again, he's one of those USB type drivers. Plug him into anything and he delivers.
You know, he thinks an awful lot about it before, and with the family history of preparing cars, I think that gives him quite an advantage. He understands the engineering in each and every single one of them and the various foibles, or knows what to expect. But then you put rain on the surface, you don't know what to expect because it is the big leveler. But he's really very comfortable with this Studebaker. And will he be going faster this time around? No, he won't if his first and second sector times are on the board. But any lap under 2 minutes is good. But he's got the power down much more. It's getting drier on the exit of the chicane, so it's faster over the start-finish line.
better than the Alfa Romeo, but they don't have the fifth gear. They don't have all the alloy in them.
And the biggest move of all is Tom Christensen. He's just going past Andy Priaulx as though he's standing still. Christensen,
fastest lap of the race is Stippler, 1:31.1, but Christensen 1:31.5.
Yeah, and that's been in traffic as well. Don't forget, it's been limited traffic at the front end. Great dicing with the Lotus Cortinas, but the way in which Christensen just blasted past the 8 BMW of Andy Priaulx was phenomenal. Now he's got a rather wider car to get past Jochen Mass in the 92 Galaxie ahead of him. In fact, next to that, it looks remarkably trim.
Well, those two guys have got 10 Le Mans victories between them, haven't they? And it's 9-1 in favour of Tom Christensen. Christensen is pushing hard up towards Madgwick Corner. Galaxie versus Thunderbolt, two of the Blue Oval's biggest, baddest American V8s. Out there fighting, and Christensen out onto the grass again, coming out of Madgwick Corner. This is just magnificent racing.
But it's a wieldy tool. He corrected it so easily. Of course, that's experience.
Christensen with fastest lap on his slate now, 1:31.062.
Well, that's just a tenth of a second off the fastest qualifying time, and he's doing it the hard way from the back of the grid. Only did one flying lap, well, one lap in practice, didn't complete the second. Now he's trying to make a move out of St Mary's. He's up the inside, but unfortunately that becomes the outside when they get to Lavant. And maybe Tom's going to swing across and dive down the inside. How can Jochen Mass negotiate Lavant, the first part of Lavant? He's going to slip slightly wide, and that indeed was the intention of Tom Christensen, to duck up the inside. How much grip has the 92? Galaxie got ahead of it, and Andy Priaulx's right on
got
their
his
tails.
elastic bands out. He's going to lasso the back bumper of the of Christensen's car, and the speed of that Thunderbolt down the straight. He looks down the inside of Jochen Mass. Jochen Mass is going to leave him some room. Are they going to door handle? No. All beautifully done. That fold in the side of the Fairlane Thunderbolt is by design. It's not something that's been crinkled against the side of a Galaxie. And Christensen, absolutely superb. He had fastest lap last time round. He's leaving Jochen Mass to Andy Priaulx. Andy Priaulx not put off by the indicator going, the wink.
Well, what an enormous tail. A Ford Galaxie in front of him, the 63 car, I fancy.
Yeah, that's the car.
Romain
Romain
Dumas.
Dumas. Matt Jackson locks a wheel in front. Oh, and the Cortina, did it make contact? I'm not sure. There's an awful lot of cars. Romain Dumas going, that's my line, sunshine.
Oh, that reminds me, I must cut the grass when I get home. But look for the 77 Cortina coming through. Not yet past Romain Dumas, but they've both got ahead of Matt Jackson in that blue Studebaker.
Yep.
So it's, sorry, Barracuda. So it's changing very, very fast indeed.
It absolutely is. Now, down to 5th position on the road now, half down to 9th place on the road now, because actually the chasing pack behind, the Galaxie, the Cortina, the blue car of Matt Jackson and Tom Coronel in the first of the Alphas, they've all now closed within 10 seconds of Rob Huff, who leads on the road. A busy hands.
He might be joining me in my commentary box, Marcus, up the inside in the second part of St Mary's. Sorry, Martin, for cutting across you, but cutting across is what Andrew Jordan did to move into 5th place past Romain Dumas. What a fantastic manoeuvre. What an epic race we're having.
Oh, Pirro with a problem, but again, it's Galaxie versus Cortina. Now this, you know, and the Minis, of course, this is one of the stories of British saloon car racing in the 60s, the huge American tanks versus the smaller engine 1600 twin can Cortinas. And if it was wet, the Minis got in the act as well. The Galaxie with all the power down the straight, and then gradually is going to run out of brakes and run out of tyres.
Yeah, but what I read for us, they've been using their tyres hard too, but then on the grass one more time, Andrew Jordan still trying to get past Dumas in the
He's
Galaxie.
alongside, he's waving his fist now in anger because he's so frustrated.
Yeah, but come on, it's close, hard racing, and just as well that Andy Jordan cut his teeth in rallycross, because actually he's been using as much of the green stuff as the grey stuff.
Andy Priaulx trying to push through from behind. And here's the battle for 5th place. It's still Romain Dumas and the big Galaxie tucked in behind. The car that qualified second was demoted to the back of the grid. Andrew Jordan, this battle of 5th is not going to be over until the very end. 7 minutes remaining.
More than 10 seconds behind Huff.
Something serious has happened at the back of the circuit. The drivers are half a second apart. It's never been that far apart in that leading quartet. Absolutely fantastic. But for now, it looks as though our race leader, Ash Sutton, is pulling clear. And up into 5th place comes Andrew Jordan. There is the 77 Cortina, the grey one with the white flash. Let's have a little look at the replay. Galaxie in front, Ford Lotus Cortina tucked in behind. Andrew Jordan, though, carrying more momentum and really starts to make it sting.
saw Colin Turkington in it yesterday, and he loved it. And that's a gain for the Ford Thunderbird. Let's just see.
He's passed both of them.
Yeah, I was just saying, has he got both? He has. So that's put him into second place, hasn't it?
Yeah, but not for how long for? Oh, so close there to making contact. So a great job by those three for avoiding contact. So the Thunderbird would stamp on the gas and put that 7-litre engine through its paces down the straight. So let's have a look at the replay here, and I'm guessing down the very, very long back straight, Shepherd is just going to breeze past.
Yeah, it's all about straight line speed.
Rest.
They gave him the space, perfectly fair. They couldn't do anything about that. That's down to sheer speed.
Muscled out wide.
But look who's a-coming. Sam Tordoff in the grunt and go Galaxie now unleashes all of the horses. Here he comes, and he just strolls on by. Gets past Tim Laisdell. Jonathan Lewis watches this battleship go past him, and he's not done yet. Sam Tordoff is closing now onto the tail of the Kerry Michael Cortina. Down they come towards Woodcote. Kerry can break later there, but Sam Tordoff, another couple of places gained on that straight alone. Jonathan Lewis now trying to keep Tim Laisdell at bay, so Jonathan hangs on to the pace. He's based these days near Snetterton, where he prepares many a race car, including lots and lots of minis that are here this weekend. Right, Tordoff on for another nice long straight here, so another pace to be gained.
Well, what's so impressive is that not only has it got the grunt down the straights, but it's also got pretty reasonable poise and balance through the corners as well. I expected him to lose out through the tight switchback of the chicane, but he managed to not only hold position, but get good propulsion out of it and onto the start-finish straight.
Sam Tordoff on the first lap got past 12 cars. That last lap was a bit disappointing, only got 5. Must try harder. So Sam Tordoff really pressing on. Nick Swift, so the Mini's almost with him. Nick Padmore next, and here comes Tordoff then to the outside of Grant Williams. The Jaguar just about hangs onto the pace. The Welshman keeps the position, but you know what's going to happen next. Sam Tordoff will just, once the car's in a straight line, wave his foot at the throttle, and it will just go charging past.
There he goes, there he does it. Exactly as described, David. What's going to be really interesting is now that he's got a little bit of clean air, what kind of pace can Tordoff bring out of his car, and will it be quick enough for him to consider catching the leading pack?
In the mini battle, as it were, it is Nick Swift leading, but Padmore has to see Tordoff go past. So Sam has now got himself up into 6th place from the back of the grid. But Nick Padmore, of course, doesn't bother to brake at all and almost ends up in the boot.
That was nearly on the door handles.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. So that catches you out a bit. The Galaxie has to brake so much earlier. The Mini can carry all of that speed into the corner. Now Sam Tordoff gets away. The Ford Galaxie 500 pulls clear, storms away over the timing line. So he's up into the top 6. Next target, Nick Swift. So Nick's busy trying to get past the Cortina, but in 4th now, Mike Jordan and Sam Tordoff. Sam for the podium here is a real possibility. One of the great drives of the weekend, this. So nose to tail they run. There's traffic ahead. There is Sam Tordoff then in that 3rd place, having got past Mike Jordan. Saunter away in a straight line. Let's try and piece all this together. So this is Tordoff in the traffic, and the Jaguar locks up and rotates, and that forces Tordoff onto the
grass. In fact, it was Nigel Webb's Jaguar, apologies, that was the one that spun.
Yeah, Nigel just getting a little bit avoided because that is not so easy to see. The entry to the left of St Mary's is a little blind. You can't see the exit until you're there. It's actually just dropping away, and the Jaguar parked the wrong way in the middle of it.
I think it was Richard Butterfield's car that had the spin. There is Sam Tornoff then recovering. He's just gobbled up the real estate to get past Nick Swift, so he's got to do some of the hard work all over again. He's passed the Cortinas once, he's got 3 more minutes in which to get past them again. Nick Swift again, almost in the boot of the Galaxie, so close was he at the chicane, but now there's nothing he can do about that car that's just going to soar.
Oh, good job from Tim Laser. Here's Tornoff up the inside into the right-hander of St Mary's. Can't quite make it stick. Little Cortina's got better handling through the switchback there. Imagine it will keep that advantage on the brakes down in.
So there's one of the Cortinas about to fall victim, so that's another place game back for Sam Tornoff. Remember, we were talking about the podium for him earlier on. He's going to do it all over again. Look at the way that he's closing on Mike Jordan as they get towards Woodcote, but of course he has to brake so much earlier. Kind of hits a metaphorical barrier. He can't get any closer because he's got to brake, so it'll be coming out of the chicane really where he can next really think about using all of the grunt of the Galaxie. With only 90 seconds to go, look at the Cortina close and now wait for that gap to open up again as all the power kicks in.
What a fantastic aerial shot. You can see exactly what we've been talking about, the different characteristics of these various cars, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. Galaxie absolutely monstrous down the straight. Meanwhile, the 2 Cortinas that are sandwiching it, much more dynamic and nimble in all of this.
There he is, right on the tail of the Cortina. 45 seconds of the race remain. Can we squeeze another lap out of it? Sam Tornoff wants another lap because that will help his chances of getting by. Mike Jordan then under attack. Is he going to finish third? Tornoff wide onto the dirt there.
Just got a little bit crossed up, a little bit overly zealous on the throttle as he came out of Lavant. Will have had to lift off significantly to gather that up, which he does, but loses momentum on Jordan. The power of the Galaxie will help him close that gap down, but for now, Jordan is safe into Woodcote. We've got 13 seconds remaining. They might just squeeze their way over the start-finish line to give us one more lap.
Clock ticks on down. The leader has gone by, so we're on to the last lap. Wilmot leading by 2.5 seconds. Mike Jordan hangs on to third. Sam Tornoff is almost there behind him then. He's been up ahead of Mike Jordan once in this race. He's got to find half a second and then get past the Cortina. Well, the half a second is gobbled up at the end of the pit straight as they go into Manchwick Corner. The 2 of them almost together with now less than a lap to go.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. Now, Tornoff needs to keep it neat and tidy because if he can maintain, at the very least, this gap, and he goes down the outside using all of the power of the Galaxie. He has to lift because the outside line at Ford Water in the Galaxie is not going to be a particularly comfortable place for Tornoff to position his car. Jordan, meanwhile, takes the defensive inside line into St Mary's, gathers it all up for the switchback.
But if Sam Tornoff can stay on the tail of the Cortina through this section, and he's sideways again at St Mary's, look, he shouldn't he be able to use the power in a straight line? Oliver Taylor's Cortina is closing. This is the last lap. Is Tornoff close enough, coming out of Lavant, to use all of that power to now get up alongside the Cortina? He's still 2 or 3 lengths back, so let's see. He's closing, he's closing, he's closing, he's up alongside, he's on the grass as well to get past. Fantastic, Sam Tornoff does it. I am coming through, he says to Mike Jordan. There is no arguing with that. Sam Tornoff, grass and all, goes third on the last lap of the St Mary's Trophy. It's going to be a win for Adrian Wilmot, who comes towards the timing line. He takes the checkered flag to win a really lively race. Bill Shepherd second, and for third it is Tornoff just ahead, but he's going to be slow out of the chicane. Mike Jordan right on the tail, but from the back of the grid to third. One of the drives of the weekend for Sam Tornoff. Brilliant stuff.